the next gen collector.
Hey everybody, Hayden the Next Gen Collector. On this dreary, rainy day, we are actually at the first ever comic book convention in Acworth, Georgia. First ever one putting on by Urbnpop Comics. They have a shop here in Acworth as well. But we're gonna go inside, check things out, and hopefully walk out with some comic books. So let's get into it. All right, small convention, but there actually was some pretty good books there and some that I was looking for. So got them in here in the protective case because it is raining, and we're actually going to go to Urbnpop Comics store that is actually just down the road from here and see what else we can find. Let's go. Welcome back. We've made it home. It's actually the day after because it was a little dreary yesterday. The lighting wasn't the best. But anyway, so we are back from the first ever comic book convention in Acworth, Georgia. It was hosted by Urbnpop Comics, along with heading down to their store that was just down the road. Because actually upon entry with your $5 ticket, you got $5 off at the store. So, I mean, why not? But let's just get straight into the books. First, I got 2 books at each location. So I got 2 at the convention, which was a smaller convention. It was the first one. A lot of other vendors that were doing toys and art and etc. So I think there was only 3 to maybe 4 vendors actually selling comic books. But one vendor actually had a lot of good books, and he said very upfront as soon as I came in, if you don't like the price, let me know, let's make a deal. So that's what we did. So the first book that I got from him was Amazing Spider-Man number 53 here. Really cool Doc Ock cover. Start of kind of a 4-issue, the storyline, I guess, between Spider-Man, Doc Ock, and these next 4 issues. Starts with this one. Basically, Peter and Gwen go to a science fair or science convention of some sort. Doc Ock's there, tries to steal the nullifier. Spider-Man stops him. And after Doc Ock gets away from Spider-Man, he actually crashes with Aunt May in this one, which kind of leads into the next issue. But Stan Lee on the writing on this one, John Romita Sr. On the art. I believe the price he had on this one was $55. And I comboed it with this next book as well, and I'll tell you kind of the price I got for both. Moving along, I actually bundled it with this book that he had, the very next issue, Amazing Spider-Man number 54, another really great Doc Ock cover. But I was really drawn to this one because you don't see many covers, at least from my knowledge, with Aunt May on the cover. So, really cool. Story continues from the last one. Doc Ock's hiding out at Aunt May's house. Peter's kind of doing his own thing, trying to find him. You know, that kind of whole thing plays out, and the issue ends with Doc Ock leaving, Aunt May fainting, kind of spoiler here, and it kind of continues over the next 2 issues after that. But the sticker price he actually got on this one was $40, I believe. For the pair of these, sticker price $55, $40 on this one. I actually only paid $75. That was kind of the offer I threw out at him. Overall, the quality on these is actually really nice. This one's probably the rougher one in terms of the spine, but this one was actually in really good condition. I looked on eBay, recent sold, to kind of gauge what my price would be, and I thought, excluding, taxes and shipping fees and everything, I thought it was relatively fair, comparable to what I saw on the internet. So really happy to get these, add to the Silver Age Spider-Man run that I'm kind of putting together. All right, and the next two books is actually from Urbnpop's comic store themselves. First up, we have Invincible #0. Only 50 cents, maybe back in 2008, I believe is when it came out. But so this issue actually came out between issues 22 and 23, and this was essentially the kind of recap for new readers to kind of jump on, just grab this book, and you can, it says clearly in the back of the book that you could either go back and read, trade paperback or whatever to get caught up, or actually read it, actually what happens, or you can just read this and then continue on issue number 23. But basically what this is, it's a recap of basically, if you've watched the show, the entire first season and maybe a couple episodes. And it's from the point of view of Invincible Mark talking to Amber, his girlfriend. So essentially it's the entire thing is just him revealing he's a superhero and then explaining everything that kind of led up to the end of season 1, if you've watched that. Really cool issue. I was really surprised I didn't have this one already. But, Robert Kirkman writing, Ryan Ottley on the art, and Crabtree on the colors. So really happy to add this one to the Invincible collection. It kind of fits into my goal of from 6 through 144, even though 0, but I mean, in terms of publication and when it came out. I'm not really sure what the market value is on these. I mean, with $10 on issues of Invincible that are this early is usually a good deal anyway, but with that admission to the con that got me $5 off, I was like, why not? Last up is a book that is actually along the front of the shop. There was all their new books that just came in. And some of these books, you saw really great stuff. I didn't get a video of a lot of it because there was actually a bunch of people coming from the convention that were in there, and shoulder to shoulder, didn't want to be awkward, with my camera hogging up a box and whatnot. But there was actually some insanely high grade stuff in there, along with this some really good books overall. But there was one book that I saw that I picked out that literally looked brand spanking new. But without further ado, the book that I pulled out was actually the super-sized annual Amazing Spider-Man number 22, 64 pages of goodness here, the Evolutionary War. And this is obviously the first appearance of Speedball, and lesserly known, it's actually Mark Bagley's first work on the Amazing Spider-Man. Really trying to collect Spider-Man's, I say rogues gallery, but I mean, if you read the story, Speedball is not a villain whatsoever. I don't know if he is in other stories, but in this one he is not. Just kind of a half origin. He really doesn't even interact with Spider-Man until literally the very end of the story. He's kind of doing his own thing. His kind of power set is imagine a rubber ball bouncing around a room. That's this guy. Basically, the story in this one, Spider-Man stops some drug dealers at a dock. I believe it was a drug-ish related issue. Then later found out they were killed off. So basically he got framed for it. Daredevil comes to the rescue, gets them cleared, basically a team up between them. And actually there's these robots by the High Evolutionary, why it's Evolutionary War. Speedball helps stop those. It's kind of just an all over the place story. A lot of, plot threads going on. Kingpin's kind of related into the drug stuff. Kingpin actually directly talks about the High Evolutionary, and it's kind of a all over the place story. Because Speedball, it doesn't even interact with Spider-Man and Daredevil until literally the very end. Because there's multiple chapters, obviously, with 64 pages. So it kind of is multiple storylines, they kind of meet, and then the story after Spider-Man stops is a Speedball kind of one shot, I guess. But for the first appearance of a character right smack on the front, I mean, the colors on this, I'll probably do a close-up on it, is like, I literally thought this was brand new. Like, you see facsimiles that look worse than this. So that's why I had to pick it up. I know $20 is kind of like the higher end, but I mean, for the quality of this one, in a really nice Mylar, colors immaculate, I thought it was warranted the price. Because with the other two, I mean, $25 for both of these books that I got from Urbnpop Comics, pretty good deal. But the best part about getting these comic books is I basically got them for free. So I used my credit card points I had saved up. It was around $100 to get these, so $25, $75, $100. So basically went through an entire comic book hunting day getting 4 amazing books, essentially for free. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt, not really free. I had to spend a lot of money in day-to-day life to actually get that many credit card points, but, we do what we can to justify our purchases like this. But out of all these pickups, you let me know down in the comments which was your favorite. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. We are actually having a 303 subscriber giveaway. I'll put it up on the screen now, the books that you could possibly win in this giveaway. All you gotta do is subscribe, and once we hit that number, do a random comic picker on the next video after we hit the goal. I'm sure you've seen it plenty of times in any of their videos, but to stay subscribed, tune into every video, and you'll be for sure able to enter the giveaway on time. But I've been talking way too long. Really appreciate all the feedback. all the comments, all the interaction I've been getting on a lot of videos, but let's just hit the outro with my man right here, and here, and here, and more importantly on these new books right here.